Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor for me to present our first speaker, Paola di Luca, who is the founder of the Futurist Limited, a creative intelligence agency specializing in strategic and editorial projects in luxury and jewelry sectors. In collaboration with Fiera di Vicenza, which is now a part of Italian Exhibition Group, one of the world's most important jewelry trade fairs, Paola in 2012 founded Trend Vision Jewelry Plus Forecasting. She recently published a book with Rizzoli International named as Farah Khan, A Bejeweled Life. The New York Times included the book among the 5 gems to read. The book received similar coverage by Forbes magazine, Vogue India, and many others. She has collaborated with some of the most important luxurious brands such as Salvatore Ferragamo, Harry Winston, and Swarovski. So ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together for Paola di Luca.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. I'm very happy to be here. It's always an honor to be here on stage. I feel very humble because I'm in the presence of extraordinary speakers today, but I'm also always honored to be in front of you. I'm a non-Indian that became a little bit of Indian myself, and I'm honored to help and contribute to this industry to really kind of broaden their vision and make it more interactive with other parts of other sectors, which is not just the jewelry industry. The jewelry industry is going through major changes, the luxury industry, in particular the jewelry industry, but not just in India, worldwide. Why? The world has changed because of digital era, because of a set of new values, because of globalization, and all this process has created some kind of identity issues, not only as country, as individual, but also as industries. So this kind of what we call inspirations event, they're happening because with the idea, with the goal, with the perspective of really bringing a cross-culture vision among all industries. So today, it's one of the many events that we'll be doing, but one very important objective that I have, and I hope, is to create interactive communications. I'd like to have an active audience rather than a passive audience, meaning that you are part of the event. The event is going to be as interesting as you are going to participate in the event. So this is very important. So I suggest you, and I honestly advise to send questions via Instagram. We are going to have people that, whatever you want to share, you want to contribute, you can ask questions. We're going to have some kind of moments where we are going to brainstorm together. So this is an opportunity for all of us to get inspired, yes, from us, but also we would like to be inspired by you. We would like to collect information from you. Today we have interesting speakers from India and other parts of the world that I hope will bring you idea, inspiration for your own business, but also as an individual, as a creative person, as a professional. So we are all broken. That's how the light gets in. I mean, we've been talking about, it's like we're going through changes, economic issues. The business right now is very slow, so in the jewelry industry, the diamond industry is going through a lot of changes. There is a very big debate, natural diamonds versus lab-grown diamonds, local market versus export. I mean, there are many questions. The truth is, everything is an opportunity. Every time we have a problem, and every time in life, as an individual, we're going through some challenging time, the truth is an opportunity to evolve, to grow, to challenge ourselves into something else. So we have to take these big changes as an opportunity. Not necessarily just doubting ourselves, but learning. And personally, even myself, I take all these challenges, including, being with other professionals and people, as an opportunity to grow. to always keep my antennas open to really absorb whatever I can take. So we are exploring new opportunities. Opportunities, today we'll be talking with architects and fashion designers, important digital platforms, new ways of filmmakers. I thought, and this is what I always felt, that it's important to bring different perspective and culture into the jewelry business. The jewelry business, it's been ghettoized for many, many years, not just in India, in Italy, everywhere, in America, all over the world. Because the jewelry industry is extremely conservative for decades. So I believe my karma, believe it or not, it is to make the jewelry industry communicate with the rest of the world, and consumers more than ever are exposed to different perspective, and this is very important to bring this culture to the jewelry industry, which is only focusing on carats, gold weight, gemstones, earrings, and rings. There is a very important revolutionary moment, which is not even happening today. It's been happening for the last almost 2 decades, at the passage of the millennium. It's about lifestyle. We don't need jewelry. We don't need jewelry. We need dreaming, we need stories, we need emotions, and jewelry should be part of this world of, lifestyle. So we're matching jewelry to our clothes, but also to our moods. So jewelers should understand this concept and should start communicating their product and taking pride in what they do. So when I walk around, I have to say that I've been coming to India for the last 15 years. The shows grew tremendously. I see windows and jewelry, very beautiful windows, but we still have to work on presentation, communication, having a vision and having a mission. And I hope that with this, let's call it think tanking moment, we are able to exchange and get ideas and grow. The student, but not only the student, but also the owners, the business owners, the marketing director, the product director, and start interacting. So, what is the next in the era of metamorphoses? I don't have an answer, and we don't have an answer today. The answer has to unveil on a daily basis. We have to find the answer, but for sure, the jewelry industry is not just focusing on only diamonds or only gold or only gemstones. In a few weeks in Jaipur, there is the launch of a new show where India is bringing international delegation of buyers, and you're going to have from people like Bulgari to Signet, team. So we're going to have from high-end to medium and lower-end products. But why these people should come here? How can we attract? How can we intrigue these people? Yes, from a manufacturing perspective, but how are we communicating? So we have to sell heritage, but also we have to sell vision. And vision cannot just be by presenting some jewelry on a tray. Why do people go to Première Vision in France, which is a textile show, I would say maybe the most important textile show in the world? Because they're not really just selling fabric, they're selling visions. So people, they go there, the buyers, the designers, the entrepreneur, they're going there to see what's coming next. What is the feeling for the next season? What kind of product I should design? What kind of topic and content people, marketer, consumers are going to look for? So we have to sell a vision. And India, it's very much ahead of the game we have some incredible minds here today, but also in India. And I'm not Indian, so I'm not, I'm just saying that I really treasure. In India, it's kind of a beacon, it's a light in the world for many reasons, starting from this spirituality, value, which is apart from religion, the spiritual essence of India. It's very modern, it's very avant-garde, because today's society, humanity, needs spirituality apart from religion only. And this sense of spirituality and part of the storytelling of the nation has to be also embraced in whatever we are doing. So the skills, the craftsmanship, the heritage that you have, and the pride I was talking with Narendra before and with the rest of the speaker, that India is in time taking more pride into their own culture to export and express this. There are some of the most extraordinary artists from India, architects and painters and filmmakers and designers that they're traveling and representing India beautifully around the world. Now it's time to broaden our vision as jewelry people and not just focus on carats. And when we walk in a show, we should inspire people from any sector, but most important, consumer, to buy not just a jewel, but the vision and the culture of India. So, cracks. Cracks is an interesting name to really inspire the industry in a positive way. Cracks is like, yes, it's breaking something, but it's breaking to get to the next level. It's like, it's really about a metamorphosis. It's taking this idea of breaking into something to the next level. So today, we're going to have full session. This is a new format that we are proposing, and GJPC wanted to propose. They asked me, Paola, how can we do a new format because people get bored, okay? So without me starting dancing, and maybe I'll do it later to make sure you're not going to fall asleep, but it's important your presence. It's important that you are going to inspire us on stage to give you I don't know if the answer, because I don't know if I can give you an answer for everybody. There is no recipe for everybody in the audience, but definitely I hope that the stories and the insights of the professionals that are going to be on stage today will inspire you and get ideas for your business, for your journey in this world. So the first one is social cultural shift, the era of volatility. So we're going to focus a little bit on what are the changes. Now, the buzzword is millennials, but what is millennials? Millennials is a demographic segment that really includes people from 25 years old to 35, and then some, marketer, they're envisioning they're pushing up to 38 years old. So it's a segment which has the biggest, one of the largest demographic segment parallel to the baby boomers. So in numbers is a big segment. But millennial today, it's really something more. It's really like the digital generation that really embraced and lived more than Generation X, which is my generation, with the digitalism. The truth is, today I feel that it's about millennial mindset, because also we have older generations that they have embraced technology, they live technology, and I'd like to also be a little bit controversial here. Having a phone and having a smartphone doesn't mean you are digital minded in terms of vision, because sometimes most time people use their phone to WhatsApp messages and text, but they are not using digital age to learn, investigate, browse, navigate the world. Sometimes I receive, some very weird inquiry from people that they have on their phone about the other side of the world. I never been to Korea, but you know what? If I want to know about Korea, I go online, I browse, and I learn about Korea. Of course, it's not the same of going to Korea, but if I want to know about their geography, their population, I mean, it's a matter of being curious. We have access. So I feel that many times people have phones, but they are not jumping into the leap of knowledge of using technology. So this is very important. So millennial, it is a demographic segment, but today more than ever, a psychographic approach is very important. So psychographic stands for living the lifestyle of one particular demographic segment. So millennial, you can be millennial at 50 or at 60. Because then now the newcomers are the Gen Z. And Gen Z make millennial obsolete in a way. Because they're younger than the millennial. So the millennial, all of a sudden, they're older than Gen Z. And they have different value. We were talking about this the other day, you know, millennial being more experiential. We were talking with Akash, which is going to be on stage, right, Akash? Versus, you know, Gen Z, they're more objective, they're more practical, they're more pragmatic. So now we are starting to learn about different values, and these values are relevant for our businesses. Because based on these consumer values, we have to not only design different products, but we have to conceive different products, design it, and communicate it. So this is what is the cultural shift is about. Sustainable being planet sensitive and conscious. So sustainable, it's very important. India is one of the leaders. We're going to hear later, you know, how, you know, what kind of incredible project India is working on in fashion, in architecture, in recycling material. But also sustainable is not only about the planet, but it's also sustaining an economy, a system, a community, helping each other. You know, with age, myself, I started working more with teamwork because we need each other. The coronavirus is creating a big problem worldwide right now. What's happening in China is going to impact the economy in Europe, in North America, and also in India. Maybe India might get some benefit out of the manufacturing, then it might be shifted from China to India. But you are not going to have the buyers, because we are going to have less money, because the Chinese are not going to spend their money in the West with luxury. So can you believe this? This is already interrupting and stopping flights from all over. The Hong Kong show is being cancelled, you know that. It's being moved to May, and most probably will be cancelled altogether, because no one is going to go in May at the show because of the Las Vegas show. You know that. So that is great. So we need each other. The fluid economy, it's crucial. We live on each other's, life in a way. It's the economy. And it's so if one economy goes bad, I mean, in a way it's impacting. And China is maybe the biggest international player in the economy, you know, worldwide. I mean, if Trump and China are not going to agree, it's a problem. Because, you know, the US will have a problem, and you're not going to have a problem, because for India, the North American market is the biggest market, especially for the diamond industry. You know that. So this is how important it is to really talk about this information. And when we talk about design, and that's where I've become, you know, difficult with the designers and students, I say, we're talking about design right here. Design is not just looking at a white page with a pencil and design a ring. You cannot sit down and design anything unless you don't acquire all the information and data in order to sit down and conceive your collection. And those are informations that are important to be able to translate data into visual informations and then consequently into a collection. Heritage and value, looking deeper into authenticity. Authenticity is not only, authenticity is a key word. Authenticity is like maybe one of the most important values in this society. It is about being real with each other. You feel my energy if I'm real or I'm fake. It's very important. Same online. If a company is real, you know. If a company is real and their product is real, you believe in it. Also, before we were talking with Akash, we were working on a project for 2022. And brands now, they become the new leader, the new cult, almost a religion. Brands, people is looking for lights to follow, and a company that has interesting insight, interesting missions, become a leader of a community. It's not just about the t-shirt, the blouse, the earrings, but if a company has good value, will be followed. And the authentic values are perceived and followed by consumer and ultimately also the trade. If the company, it's real, it's serious, it's consistent. In this particular case, we will talk about heritage and value, and India has incredible heritage and values to share and can be a leader, and it is a leader in the world for this kind of values. Design future, envisioning the ideals of tomorrow. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We really don't know. Only the creative, the divine creativity and can really envision the future. But we can have a vision, and the vision is about the present and our intention and desire for tomorrow. I'm a yoga practitioner, and the power of intention is very important. You know, it's not about the asanas, but it's about how much you want something. But at the end of the day, I call it the Bluetooth theory. If you really want something, you can get it. And also today, more than before, spirituality is merging with science. And today, you are your thinking. If you're thinking in one direction, and you really want something, you're gonna get it. It's like the Sankalpa theory. It's like, you know, but at the end of the day, it's about Bluetooth theory. If you want something, we can get it. So the era of volatility, I'm gonna go very quickly here because I don't want to be too long because I have all the speakers. Analysis of human dimension considering population growth, urbanization, megacities, and economic inequality. What is going in the human heart and soul? What philosophical and ideological shifts are occurring in our time? So we are looking at a period from 2020 to 2050 might be the era of equality, suggests the equity and diversity and trend will solidify. So this is very important. You see, now we're talking about looking at 2020 to 50. Society, it's really, all the boundaries within society are weakening between social spheres, institutions, social groups. Everything is becoming more fluid. And in a way, this is also what I'm hoping to kind of trigger, to make it more fluid within the industries and the sectors, from the jewelry industry to theirs, because we are too close-minded. So this is part of the global trend, a society, a humanity trend, and I think we have to, when I say we have to start being more active rather than passive, it's like, what does it mean? How can I apply to my business? I've been meeting interesting young folks now that they're working on social platform, creating educational program online. Today we have here, you know, Amazon Fashion, where we have Farfetch. More and more, I'd like to hear about how digital age has impacted our industry. But I also want to hear how human we can be on digital platform. Human meaning, how can we bring the human factor, the warm factor, the intimate factor online. That's very important. Cannot just be picking a shirt or picking an earring. What kind of content are we giving to our clients, our customers? How much are we going to be present? Because there are too many informations at times. Social cultural shift. So I'm just going to go very fast here, but as you can see, we're bringing a design language to the discussion. And when I talk about the design language, we talk for mood boards. What is a mood board? A mood board is kind of a mapping of a design, an element, and a visual language that has to basically embrace the value of an idea that we want to achieve in a collection, as a company, as a store, as a retailer. Sustainable being. The invasive and lasting consequences of consumerism on the planet. We have, consumerism and capitalistic mentality in a way, was good because we reached this, this moment in history, but what kind of consequences is bringing? How can we be more ethical and responsible? But not only about material, about the way we're behaving. How can we be more equal? How can we help? How can we be, how is the jewelry industry looking at the circular economy and how to become a part of global conscience? And again, mood board, what does it mean? How can I bring, so, see, we are kind of suggesting, how can you go from abstract, intangible value into design language? Those are examples of a design language that we hope to inspire you. Heritage and value, looking deeper into the identity. Cultural history and legacy that continues to inspire. More and more for Generation Z and Millennium, but even more, even for like Generation X and older, our culture, it's always inspiring. Could be Indian, could be any part of the world, but also there are some, hybrid happening. It's like mixing cultures, becoming almost borderless, with like no really no end. How can we bring artisanal value and craft-centric authenticity to design? I can see from the time I started coming to India, more and more you're starting to value your artisans, and maybe also they should be more educated. That's something that you have to consider. Craftsmen should be more educated, should not just execute. Why? Because yes, I even hear at the show, incredible artisans, and they're very good maker, but I think it's important to take these techniques and bringing it to the third millennium, meaning evolve the techniques and merge contemporary design with ancient design for a contemporary purpose, not just reproducing the past, but evolving the past into nowadays. It's very important. Keeping the treasure of our craftsmen to the present time and even bringing it to the future. And last but not least, design future. Moving towards radical innovation of modern times, what will be the codes in which the future design ideas are set? And again, a series of questions. I think that I want to leave now the stage to the speakers. Today we have incredible speakers. I'm very happy and proud and thankful to have them. And I think I'm going to end my talk here. I just wanted to bridge and introduce this wonderful panel. I will wrap up this session today with what is the future of diamonds and jewelry. And in and out today we'll be kind of creating some kind of panel discussion. But please ask questions, please come on stage and share. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Paola, ma'am, for such a interactive session.